When I visited my pro landscaping brother's property, his flower bed edges looked like nothing I had ever seen before. Everything popped and looked so clean and professional, so I had to know his secrets, and I've been using this method ever since. Your cutting tool is the most important, and that would be with a half moon edger. This is a device that cuts nice, clean, sharp flower bed edges. You can use other ones like spades or shovels, but this is the proper tool to do the job. Using a half moon edger, I cut along the entire edge while slightly lifting the soil away from the cut to create more definition between the soil and sod. There's two methods you can try, an up and down cut or turn the edger more on its side as if you're cutting a cake. Now let's clean up the bed. Reaching for a slimmer and wider garden trowel, I first used the slimmer trowel to dig up all the weeds by their roots. Then I broke down any larger soil chunks by both pounding them or crumbling them up with my hands. Next up, I created a trench with the wider trowel, followed by smoothing the soil upwards from trench to flowers with my hand. So you can see where I've stopped edging, and you see this area? This is how all flower beds turn out. They eventually level out with the sod, losing definition, but it's all about that edge. So if you can just put that edge back in there, it just wakes everything back up again. Your next important tool is using something that can trim the edges of the grass. I just like to use a simple weed trimmer that's battery run, so it's easy to operate. No fuss, plug in the batteries, you're ready to go. It's lightweight and it's just easy for me to handle. So here's the grass edges growing over, which they always do. So first I'm going to trim flat, horizontally, then vertically along the edges. It's important to keep the trimmer head perfectly straight because if you angle it forward, you'll scalp the nice sharp edges you're trying to achieve. Then I trimmed vertically by rotating the trimmer head upside down. You can either pick up the cut grass or smooth out the soil with your hand and allow it to compost in place. Then after a quick mow and water, you'll have a super sharp looking flower bed edge that makes everything look better. Before you take pictures of your flowers to share, here's a little tip. Spray the soil with water first. It'll make your soil look really deep and rich and make the flowers pop. To upkeep the sharp edges, I recommend to trim the edges every time you mow. Then when you weed, fluff the soil and retrench. Here's how to create a straight edge from scratch. Along the hedges, the soil is level with the lawn, leaving no definition. Since the soil was super hard and dry, I watered the area first, or create fresh edging right after a good rainfall. I then brought out a 2x4 and positioned it as a cutting guide. If you aren't sure where to cut, I recommend mowing the lawn first so you know where your mower can't reach. If you work with lawnmower restrictions, mowing will ultimately be easier. Then I cut a straight line while slightly lifting the cut soil. The sod chunks were removed and placed on a garbage bag so I could bang off as much soil as possible before returning the soil back into the bed. But don't get rid of that sod. If you turn it upside down and place it in a hidden part of your garden, it will eventually turn back to soil again, which will help feed your flower beds. I then edged the grass edge horizontally and vertically and reworked the soil with a trench to create that beautiful definition. The added cut line on this straight bed really makes the trees stand out in such a fresh, professional way. It's hard to believe this is the same yard as before. Let's work on how to curve an edge next to finish off this area. Bringing out a water hose, I curved it along the flower bed edge, creating a smooth, curvy shape that the lawnmower can easily follow. Then after a quick water spray to soften up the ground, I cut the shape out, then followed all the other previous steps. And I think the befores and afters speak for themselves. Now it looks like a well-attended landscape that really ups the curb appeal of any bed you try this on. The beauty of this kind of edging is that there's nothing to buy or replace that eventually breaks down over time. Simply re-edge each spring for a fresh start. As you can see, I still have a lot more to do. However, I feel like I made really good headway, and every little bit counts. And that's the thing about gardening. It's not a race. It's just take your time, try new things, and why not enhance what you already have done and make it look even better in special new ways. I hope you give it a shot.
High prices are here to stay. Gas, groceries, insurance. If you're a homeowner, you've probably thought, should I refinance to pay off this credit card debt? Then you second guess yourself because of that low mortgage rate you currently have. Listen, that low rate, it's not saving you if you're drowning in credit card interest at 25% or more. That's the math no one wants to face, but it's costing you thousands. Here's the truth. If you're only making minimum payments, that debt will follow you for years. That's why people are calling American financing, because they're saving customers an average of $800 a month by using their equity to finally break free from credit card debt. You owe it to your family to see what's possible. No upfront fees, no pressure. It costs you nothing to find out what you could save every month. And if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. Call American Financing. 866-889-5154. That's 886-889-5154 or americanfinancing.net/hometalk.
Here's a cool idea to upgrade your garden with these LED lights. First, I cleared out all the overhanging plants and exposed the existing retaining wall. Then I trimmed the overgrown bushes and used a power washer to clean the concrete blocks. After washing, I added another row of blocks, filled the gaps with sand, and topped up the garden with new mulch. It already looked amazing and I was ready to install the lighting. I then placed the rope light on the inner side of the edging, starting from the farthest end of the garden bed. I secured the light in place using garden staples about every 12 inches. This light is linkable and customizable to fit any length you need and flexible enough to follow the curves. Most importantly, LED lights are energy efficient. This is a perfect way to light up your walkways and other parts of the garden at night. It enhances safety while adding beautiful accent lighting. And there you have it, an easy way to highlight your garden bed with LED rope lights.
For this project, you're going to need some bricks. I'm using folk art chalk paint in the color cashmere, and I'm painting the top skinny side as well as one skinny side of the brick. I repeat this process for all of the bricks. Now that all of the bricks are dry, it's time to paint the rest of the sides. It's important to pick a kind of paint that will reflect where the bricks will be placed. So if they'll be in the elements, you'll want something that will stand up to the elements. Once that was completely painted, I moved on and continued painting all of the other bricks in a variety of colors. I grabbed a permanent marker in the color black and drew stripes on the top skinny side. This reflected pages of the book, and I did this for all of the bricks. Now it was time to decorate the binder. So I grabbed a variety of permanent markers in a variety of colors and drew some designs, some stripes, and also some little shapes. Now that everything is on the books and the bricks are complete, it's time to place them in the garden. And here it is, all completed in my garden. And I hope this inspires you to make a garden border of your own.
Looking for easy ways to give your garden a finished, custom look? Here are 5 creative garden border ideas. First up, plates. Grab mismatched plates and gently tap them into the ground using a rubber mallet. The different colors and patterns create a beautiful cottage-style garden border. Next up, pallet or scrap wood. Stand each piece upright and tap it into the soil with a rubber mallet. You can stagger the heights for a rustic look, or keep everything even for a cleaner, more modern border. For something sleek and minimal, try aluminum flashing. Be sure to wear gloves since the edges can be sharp. Fold over the top edge for added safety, then press it into the ground to create a nearly invisible border. Another great option is glass bottles or jars. Remove the labels by soaking them in hot water, turn the bottles upside down, and gently tap them into the soil, spacing them evenly to create a colorful, recycled garden edge. And finally, add a little nighttime magic with rope lighting. Lay the lights along the top of your garden border and secure them with landscape pins. Once the sun goes down, your garden will have a beautiful glow